And one of the things that we really want to do is to use our Sunday morning session as teaching sessions as well as inspiration sessions and so on. So what we've been trying to do is to share with you some information, and as we give you this information, hopefully it's kind of like an introduction to what we're going to be talking about in the lesson today. So this is from A Course in Miracles. It's the meaning of the crucifixion. That's one of the chapter titles, and it's from paragraph 4 and then paragraph 13. Let me just say what a joy it is to share this with you, because I think we're able to live this way and to be this way. So this is Jesus talking. Assault can ultimately be made only on the body. There is little doubt that one body can assault another, and you can even destroy it, as he was on the cross when his body got destroyed. Yet if destruction itself is possible, anything that is destructible cannot be real. Its destruction, therefore, does not justify anger. So what he was simply saying is that his body was physically being destroyed, but anything that is being destroyed, a body, an emotion, whatever, it simply comes and goes, and that is not really the most real thing in life. And just because someone, in a sense, is persecuting you, it doesn't allow that to be a justification for anger against them. And of course, this is pretty big stuff. To the extent to which you believe that it does, you are accepting false premises and teaching them to others. So just because someone does something against you, it doesn't mean you have to do something against them. If they get you into anger, then they've kind of reduced you to where they are. The message the crucifixion was intended to teach was that it is not necessary to perceive any form of assault in persecution, because you cannot be persecuted. That's a pretty interesting thing. You cannot be persecuted in your spirit, in your soul essence. Even though someone may be attacking your body, your emotions, and your mind, the presence within you cannot be persecuted. It is invulnerable. If you respond with anger, you must be equating yourself with the destructible, and are therefore regarding yourself insanely. Of course, only the Course would say that. You're insane if you simply try to do anger against someone else who might be persecuting you. And then in paragraph 13, the conclusion, the message of the crucifixion is perfectly clear. Teach only love, for that is what you are. Teach only love, for that is what you are, today and for all time. So what we would like to do in the presentation, in the teaching today, is to use this course material as a background and then to expand the teaching. So in a nutshell, you can't be persecuted because no one can persecute your soul essence. And secondly, teach only love, for that is what you are. So we'll try to bring all that into fruition today. Okay? So let's begin. Just when we begin, first of all, by saying what a joy it is to see the growth that I think is really occurring within all of us. It's a wonderful thing to see each one of us growing in our own lives. Slowly but surely, and now more and more, we are clearly becoming aware that we really are eternal souls manifesting in a physical body. Just more and more, we're beginning to understand this. We are eternal souls, Christed beings, who are manifesting in a physical body. And as a result of that, we would simply say, only good can come to us, and only good can come from us. And as we move into the holiday season, what I'd like to do is to focus on a teaching of one of the great master teachers, namely Jesus. While he's not the only one that has taught these things, He has become a touchstone for all teachers in all teachings, and might I say for even ourselves, that He is the touchstone for ourselves in our personal lives. Thus, the lesson during the holiday season is simply entitled, Jesus, a Teacher for All Times. So, let's begin. While we celebrate the birth of Jesus during the Christmas season, I would like to focus in on the end of His earthly life, which I feel has the most important teaching and the greatest example for us. The event that I want to focus in on was the essence of the reading today. It is His crucifixion, as He was dying on the cross and presented in the channeled book, A Course in Miracles. What Jesus teaches us is that the event itself is not the most important thing. The most important thing is how that event is really affecting ourselves. Now, let me just say that in this teaching, I've always felt what Jesus said was true. I've always felt that within myself. No matter what is happening out there, there's something in me that is not subject to what is happening out there. I've always felt that, and I hope that maybe you will as well. So what I'd like to do is to share the event and then two particular implications of the event. First, the event of the crucifixion and the meaning that it has for us. In fact, there are two related meanings. Jesus teaches us, first of all, that the message of the crucifixion is not to perceive any form of assault upon us as persecution, because you cannot be persecuted in spirit, in your soul essence. So let me just explain this. Jesus said not to perceive any assault on you as persecution, because you are an eternal soul, and no one and no thing can attack your soul essence. That's a huge, huge lesson. He helps us to see that while someone may attack your body physically, they cannot attack the invulnerable part of you that is really your soul, who you really are. Well, someone may try to seriously deal with an attack on your emotions. They cannot attack that invulnerable part of you, your soul, that you really are. And he helps us to see that even though someone may attack your thoughts, they cannot really, in a sense, attack the thinker, the one who has thought the thought in the first place. Jesus clearly states that while He has given us an extreme example of being attacked, namely being put to physical death, in doing so, He's been able to help us to see a few things. So again, He acknowledges this is an extreme example. He's being put to death. But the first thing He says is, you cannot be persecuted in spirit. Secondly, do not accept false attacks on you, even though they seem real, as justifications for anger. You did this to me, therefore I'm going to do this to you. And then He gave us that third great teaching. Father, forgive them, my assumed persecutors, because, well, they don't know what they're doing, and I am not going to participate in their drama. I am not going to retaliate by being just as mad at them as they seemingly were mad at me. Quite a lesson for us. Quite a teacher for us. One of our members recently asked, how could He be so forgiving? How could He be so understanding? The answer, I think, is quite clear. Because the Holy Spirit of understanding was in Him. The Spirit of truth was in Him. Even though things may be happening to you, they are not a justification of anger, because you have that invulnerable place within you that can give meaning or understanding to what is happening to you. Now, before Jesus, in a sense, left the teaching of the crucifixion, He gave what is probably the greatest teaching of all in the Course in Miracles, when he gave us these words, "Teach only love, for that is what you are." It's a big statement. Teach only love, for that is what you are. And then he follows it with another great lesson, which I did not include in the reading. He said, "I do not call for martyrs, I call for teachers." Teach only love, for that is what you are. I call for teachers, not martyrs. So this is what I suggest where we come in. As I mentioned, I think Jesus has given us two implications of the meaning, not just of his crucifixion, but also really of his birth, of why really he came to the earth plane in the first place. The first implication I would suggest is this: Jesus encourages us to be teachers, not martyrs. Teachers of what? Teachers of love. Because, well, love is what you are. So let me just say it again. He just calls us to be teachers of love, for that is what you are. I believe, as I feel that you do as well, that we are here on the planet to do precisely this, to receive and extend love because, well, that is who we are. So what I would now like to share with you is to explain what I would consider to be this idea of love and what it is doing for us. I'd like to explain this idea of love and what it might be doing for us. The first thing I would like to suggest is that it's very difficult for many people to see themselves as love. Most people in the world do not see themselves as love. Most people in the world, in a sense, see themselves from a sense of self that is much more self-centered. They are much more concerned about their health, their physiology, very concerned about their family, concerned about money, security, worldly affairs. And they probably would be the first to say they're much more in touch with these things than they are with the love that is within them. Not saying that there's anything wrong with these things, but just realistically, most people just see things from, what do I need? What can I get from the things of the world? So then you ask yourself the question, well, what's different about you? What's different about you? So may I suggest the following. What I would suggest is really different about you is that when Jesus said, who you really are is this love, I would suggest that he means that you, each one of us here, we have made the shift. We have made the shift. The shift from what to what? A lot of questions today. The shift from what to what? The shift from seeing ourselves as simply a limited, worldly human being to seeing ourselves as an eternal soul. It's a shift from how you perceive yourself, from seeing yourself more as a limited human who is trying to acquire things, to learning to see yourself as an eternal soul, to see yourself as a participation in the God energy itself. This God presence within you is, I think, who we have become. So I want to share with you a letter that someone wrote to me recently that was just very, very interesting. Actually wrote it to Nisi and myself. Just a very interesting letter, one little paragraph. Dear Nisi and Vince, enclosed is a donation to help cover whatever expenses you need in spreading the good news. This good news enables us to be more peaceful, happy, and especially to spread this with those who are around us whenever we go into our inner presence. Sometimes it is difficult to know that presence, but it is always there quietly waiting for us to remember it. This lady gets it. She just gets it. There's an inner presence, and this God presence within us is now the energy with which we identify ourselves. I feel that we have become the God Spirit, that we are the love of God, that this is our presence, and I would suggest that this has become your sense of self. There's a God presence within you that you know, and you are bringing this God Spirit to all aspects of your life, to all of the things in the world. None of those are bad, but also to all of the people of the world. But neither the people nor the things of the world control you. You are bringing love to them, well, because that's who you are. Love is who you are. Now, some might say, is there anything more we can look forward to? So let me just suggest a few other things that might be helpful to you. The first thing that I would want to suggest as we bring love into the world, being more love-centered than self-centered, would be the following. The first one is that I believe that we bring a new alternative to those who are worldly. We're giving a new alternative to those who are pretty well stuck in all of the stuff. I believe that not only are we exhibiting that love, but we welcome them to be loving as well. And wherever possible, we try to give love to others as an encouragement to raise their consciousness. I think we understand that there's a oneness, we have for and with each other, one humanity, one planet. Doesn't mean everyone sees it like this, but we see it like this. And this, we believe, is the evolutionary future of our species and of the planet. Yet in the presence of doing so, there are a few other things that I think are very, very important. As we do these things, may I suggest the following. The first one, I feel that each one of us has a commanding presence in our life situation. I'm going to say that again. That each one of us has a commanding presence in our life situation. You are bringing life, you are bringing love into your life. In this commanding presence, you're not only smart, you're nice, you're compassionate, you're no one's fool, but you are able to bring love into life. You're not nearly as ruffled as you once were, that no matter what is going on out there, it's not ruffling what's going on in here. I would suggest to you that you are bringing an authoritative presence into life. You will not settle. You will not settle for anything that is not loving. You just will not do that anymore. There was a passage in Scripture when people would say about Jesus, he spoke with authority. I think you do too. I think we speak with authority. We speak with the authority of love, the intelligence and the inspiration of that higher presence. I think we have become conduits of that light and love here on the planet. I know that you know that that's true. I know that you have confidence in this power. And we are much more joyful because, well, we just realize that love is who we are. And this is what we are going to continue to bring forth. A last question. Is there more? Is there more than just bringing love to the planet into your life? Well, of course there is. Rather than being worried about what might happen to you and your life's relationships and responsibilities, I'm going to suggest to you that you can expect to experience 3 things as long as you remain in love. The first one, I think you'll be able, first of all, to easily accept whatever is occurring in your life. Matt Kahn wrote a wonderful book, Whatever Arises, Love That. I think that's what we do. Whatever arises, we love that. If it's occurring, and it's occurring in our lives, we have no choice but to deal with what is occurring. And you can resist it, or you can love that. I think the most interesting thing for us is we're able to love that for the good of everyone. We're able to love it not only in the immediate situation, but also with all of the participants in that particular situation. If it's occurring, we can love that. The second thing I would suggest to you, I believe you can expect to grow in enthusiasm. The word enthusiasm simply comes from 2 Greek words. It means to be in God. To be in God. The point I would like to make is that I feel that we are in this enthusiasm. But here's the best part. I think what's going to happen is, being in this enthusiasm, you're going to expand your awareness. As loving as you might presently feel, expect your enthusiasm to grow. We're not on a doomsday ship. Expect your enthusiasm to grow, and maybe to be infectious, to allow others to come into that very same understanding, so that when ready, they too might realize that they are love. That is who we are. Third and lastly, and you might as well get ready for this, third and lastly, on a daily basis, I think you're just going to be more and more joyful. You will be happier because that's the way love operates. You'll be more content. That's what makes love so appealing. And life will be much more funner, if there is such a word, because that's what love does. It's a very creative energy that moves us forward in greater and greater expectation. What I've tried to do is to share with you a vision, a way of going forward. So in conclusion, let me just suggest that I said at the beginning that this would be a holiday message. I think I also said that this would be a message for all time. But more than anything else, what I would like to suggest is that Jesus and you are teaching the same thing. Namely, you are teaching only love, for that is who you are. We can do this. We're going to help each other in the process, and to assist others to move into the possibilities of life itself. That's the message I'd like to share with you. Let's bring that into meditation and see where we go. Let us now begin our meditation by setting the intention of just understanding more directly that wonderful teaching of Jesus. Teach only love, for that is what you are. Fully now dedicate yourself to this meditation. Let us begin the meditation as we are wont to do, by just focusing on the breath, allowing the intention just to be in the background as we prepare to feel the presence within us. Just focus on your natural breathing rhythm, breathing in and breathing out. And again, I ask you not to be lackadaisical, but to focus. Focus on the breath coming in and the breath going out. Please begin. Let me now give you a guide word. When you inhale, just say to yourself, first of all, the word calm. Feel the sense of calmness coming into you. And then as you exhale, feel a sense of calmness flowing out of you. Feel the calmness, a presence coming in and a presence moving out. Focus on it. Please continue. Let me ask you to do one last thing before we proceed into the meditation topic. Would you simply place your hand over your heart-lung area and simply feel your breath? When you inhale, just feel your lungs expanding. When you exhale, feel your lungs deflating. Just feel the breath. Feel the rhythm of your breathing through your body. Please continue. You may place your hand back on your lap, and as you do so, I'll ask you to notice something. Would you notice how calm you feel? How peaceful? Just notice that. And then, would you notice how a part of something bigger that you are, you're a part of something bigger. Notice the larger energy, the greater peace of which you are a part. I said at the beginning of our service today that the service would be monumental. What is monumental is precisely this: that you, right here, right now, are a participation in the universal energy of life. This is monumental. So how did he do it? How did Jesus deal with this extreme example of crucifixion? I would suggest that he saw it from this monumental place. One can attack a body, one's emotions, one's thoughts. but they cannot attack you. When you are in this place. This place knows only love. Isn't that what you most want to be? Truly. Isn't this inner place, this love, what you most want to be? You are a conduit of this loving energy. We are conduits of this loving energy, assisting each other. Clearly in your mind, joyful in your emotions, and happy in your heart. You know what Jesus taught us. Teach only love. For this is who you are. We know that this is the truth. It's just the truth. Jesus taught it. All the great teachers have taught it. And we do as well. With this energy within us, let us now bring our attention back into this room. And just before we breathe our eyes open, would you notice one last thing? Would you notice how good you feel and how right you feel? And just when you're ready, allow this energy to fill your body. Just gently breathing your eyes open, a little smile on your face, and emanating the goodness at the very core of your being. Namaste.